Today I'm going to talk about the social media trends of 2024 with my partner Doreen.
Good morning.
As operational and creative director of FUS, she is always up to date of the latest trends. But before we dive into these trends, we will have a short recap of the biggest trend of 2023, AI. AI was omnipresent in 2023, and it's a trend that won't disappear in 2024. OpenAI, the company behind the famous ChatGPT, was founded already in 2015, but found its way to the big public last year. It did this with its text-based AI tool. For those who haven't been on the internet in 2023, we will explain what this is. It's a language model trained on a large internet database that can help you with a very broad range of tasks. Later, in 2023, Microsoft invested in OpenAI, starting the race for leadership in AI and AI tools. AI quickly found its way into our lives. And AI will even have a bigger impact on our lives than fire, electricity, and the internet, according to Sundar Pichai, CEO of Alphabet. So expect a lot of new AI tools to come your way as well in 2024. Let's start with the first question. How are you using AI in your day-to-day job?
It helps our creative process to come up with new content ideas and help us fill out our content calendar. We use it for video scripts as well, or if we have a difficult brief, we just throw it in or give it to ChatGPT and ask them a couple of questions. So it definitely helps us through the creative process, but it's not to do our job, of course. Okay. So it's a starting point, and that's the point where we personalize the ideas to our company or the company of our clients. We train the AI models as well. So that's mostly for the tone of voice. So we give feedback, and that's the cool thing about AI, that it remembers every input that we gave him. So that's a cool thing. It helps us also to save time in preparation phase, for example. It makes our marketing efforts more efficient and data-driven, so that we can focus more on the creative part and the creation of the content, which is all done in-house. So it definitely helps us working more efficiently.
So on to the trends now, and we're going to start with Doreen's favorite, UGC. Now, for those who didn't know UGC, Doreen, I will explain it briefly. So UGC stands for user-generated content. And it is where individuals out of a community will create content for a brand or for a company. But why is this important?
So more than ever, consumers are more critical about marketing tactics. So that's why the authenticity is more important than ever. People don't want a highly over-polished advertisement anymore. So the only part where you can stand out is to produce more authentic content pieces. And that's where UGC comes in. So you don't have to be an influencer or you don't need a lot of followers. What is important, that you can create good content, maybe have a good portfolio, because everyone can be a UGC creator. So the only important thing is that you can shoot authentic content, and that's where you can stand out.
So it's like seeing a product out of the eyes of the consumer.
Indeed. An unboxing video, that's like the most used example in UGC content. So unboxing videos, I receive a product, I check it, I unbox it, I use it, so that people definitely see how you use the product.
Then is this for you the end of influencer marketing?
Not the end. I think that UGC creates more opportunities.
Okay.
So I really believe that the UGC market is going to take a little bit of the market of the influencers, but I would not say it's the end of the influencer era. But I think those two can definitely happen at once for some brands. So you also have different types of influencers. Some influencers have a high follower base, but you also have nano influencers, and I think that's a very interesting part for brands to work with nano influencers. You know what nano influencers are?
Never heard of it.
So nano influencers are also influencers, but they don't have like a big follower base. They just focus on a specific niche. So, for example, if you like sports and you make content of your sports, for example, you could be a nano influencer with some followers, but you don't need 20K followers or so to be an influencer. So that's really the nano influencer part. And of course, it's also cheaper to work with a nano influencer than with a big influencer who has more than 1 million followers.
So like you said before, it's all about creating this new authentic content that you can then use for your communication.
Yes, but the difference there with nano influencer or influencers in general and UGC creators is that if you have like a bit of a follower base, that you post it on your own channel, or maybe with a collaborative post. I think we talk about it later on in this session.
We dive deeper into co-marketing as well.
Okay,
That's
cool.
Right.
So I leave that part for them. So the influencers post on their own channels, and UGC creators don't need to post on their own channels. They just deliver the content to the brand, and then the brand use it to post it organically or use it in ads. So it's also for UGC creators super important to talk about the restrictions and for how long is this going to be online and everything. So really make good work of the contracts there if you are a UGC creator.
All right, cool. Sounds like a nice way to get a new insight in your community, to have a new content coming in as well, and to really talk to your community from inside the community. So I think it's an important one when setting up your marketing strategies. Now on to the next trend. We have a short video and audio, which already got a quite significant boost with TikTok, with the interest-based algorithm. How do you see this evolve in 2024?
So if we look back to the last years, we saw that short video and audio were the most popular content pieces ever. And I really see this more evolving in 2024. So that's just my opinion, general, about short video and audio. But there will be a difference in how we make short video and audio. I think that the storytelling will change a bit, but that's also something that we talk about later on. But
not too many spoilers, please.
But yeah, for that, I think there will be a change in how we produce this content, but it will definitely evolve more in 2024.
All right. Is it then safe to say that long-form content is dead? Is the audience fed up with this kind of content, or how do you see this?
No, definitely not. Or it's definitely not that, I would say. Take this, for example. This is also a long-form content piece that we're making now. You are definitely speaking with other audiences than short content that's mostly used for the awareness phase. With long-form content, you connect deeply with your audience and you give more information about a certain topic. So
maybe it's for a different part of your marketing funnel.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's for deeper down your marketing funnel. So you already have clients and people who are connecting with your brand, but if they are more interested in a certain part or a certain topic, that's where the long content comes in.
So for the marketing managers of people into marketing watching, I think that what you're trying to say is that the long form content is more for like the consideration phase and for the action phase where people are really looking to get deeper into a certain topic that you touched with like a short or with some audio piece, and that the long form will stay relevant to find more information about the topic.
Yeah, sure. And on top of that, you see also a change in the platforms. So TikTok is now allowing also longer and longer content pieces. Instagram will definitely follow. So yeah, it's cool to see and important to know if a platform launches a new feature, it's definitely interesting to jump on it with your company or brand because, yeah, the algorithms are definitely going to give you a boost if you make use of those new features. And for this moment, it's long form content.
To round off this trend, what is long that you're talking about? What is now the maximum on TikTok? Because I know they started with 60 seconds. What is a long form video or a long video now?
10 minutes.
Okay, that's already quite some information you can share.
You see it in all the platforms. They're rolling out long form content pieces, so it's very cool to see, and I would make definitely use of it.
So on to the next trend, SEO. Well, not the SEO that you might know, but now we're talking about social media as a search engine. Something totally different, but with the same principles. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah, that's also a big change or a trend for 2024. It started already in 2023 a bit, but it will definitely evolve more and more in this year. And it started by that people were searching for things on TikTok or Instagram. So platforms are now really used as a search engine. For me personally, if I am going on a vacation to a specific place, I really search on TikTok for cool things to do or great things to eat in that specific city.
Maybe also how-tos, unboxings. I think that is also
products.
falls in that category. Okay.
So what to keep in mind as a brand is more like the title of your company on the platform, your profile name. Maybe include something that's also related to your brand. For us, for example, it's a content creation studio. Maybe it's also interesting to put the creative word in it and just with that. Your bio, for instance, also very important to include words where you know people are searching for it, and this is where I want to stand out. Okay. The same for your content pieces itself. So first, profile optimization, very important for SEO. But if you produce content pieces, that's also important to keep the SEO in mind. For example, you make an unboxing video of a new lighting for video. Include all the words related to that lighting. I think of the brand, where you use it, everything related on the lighting there, and then you can just hide your words on your content piece, and then you know, okay, if people search for that kind of word, my video will pop up.
All right. So really important to keep in mind for your marketing strategy. Before we move on, do you have any specific brands in mind that do this really well already?
First. The Barry Callebaut group is doing that very well on all the profiles. for Instagram, for example, they make use of SEO in their copy, in their post itself. Their profile is well optimized. On TikTok, they do the same. So that's a very good example. And I hope a lot of other brands are doing the same.
All right, cool. Now, also an important part in content and content marketing is, of course, the storytelling.
So for storytelling, we have different types of story arcs, and we all know the general one that's mostly used in movies, TV series, where your story leads in and then you build up and then your story just fades out. So that's the most general story arc. And then we moved, I think, 5 years ago to a digital emerging story arc. And the difference there is that you grab the attention fast, so your stories start already high. And then you have some brand cues, and then your story fades out, and you have maybe another interesting element or a shift in your story, and then more story for people who want to know more.
Has this something to do with a word I heard recently, like scroll stoppers?
Yeah, indeed. That's
Okay.
definitely the best word for it to describe that kind of story arc.
Because people are really eager to scroll through until they see something they like.
Mm-hmm. So you want to start your story high. So that's the story arc, or that's how we use storytelling in social and online storytelling. Mm-hmm. So in video, in our posts, everything that we do, we want to really grab the attention in the first seconds. But then a change that we saw already the last months of 2023 is that storytelling is also changing a bit. So we definitely want to grab the attention the first seconds, but how we do that is changing. So what we see now is that people turn around stories. So first they show the result of their story for a few seconds, and then they start telling the story. So people already know what to expect.
Okay. So like really starting with the end.
Yeah, I think in 2024 we will see more of that, but I think everything is going to be mixed up. Mm-hmm. We will see change in storytelling, we will see a change in how people tell story, and so I think it will be a very interesting year in terms of storytelling.
And do you have any tips that can be implemented for marketing? How would you tackle this?
So if you have a video that you want to launch, or in an advertisement campaign, it's also super important or interesting to test that you make one video, but change only the first part of the video and change it like 5 times. And then you just launch them all and see which one is working the best. You can do the same with call to actions, for example.
But I guess not all at the same time.
I will do them all at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. And just
then,
see.
And then you see what works best. Very cool. I think that's a very handy tip for everybody watching or listening. Now on to the next trend. You already touched it a little bit. Co-marketing. For me, it looks a bit like influencer marketing. But is this correct? Am I right about this?
Yeah, you can use it for influencers. It's super cool to use because what we saw last years and the years before, if we have influencers, what they do is they make a cool video or a picture and they post it on their own platform, tag the company who they are collaborating with. Mm-hmm. But what we can do now on Instagram, for example, is that you can make a collaborative post. So influencers can make a collaborative post with a brand. And what you see there is that post is not only on the profile of the influencer, but it's also on the profile of the brand. So the likes of 2 are just counting up, and that's very cool, and a new feature now in Instagram that is very interesting for brands to collaborate with influencers, for example.
So your audience almost like doubles now because it's
Yeah.
on both platforms
Yeah.
or on both channels.
Yeah, correct. You also see it on a personal level when people got engaged. For example, they do a collaborative post, and then it's on both profiles, and you see that they got many likes because of the two profiles.
All right, very cool. Have you experimented with this kind of marketing yourself? Have you done some collaborative posts with friends or with other companies?
One of the examples was a giveaway.
Okay.
So a giveaway, very interesting to do a collaborative post. If you want more followers on a new profile, for instance, and you do a giveaway and collaborate with a big partner or an influencer, it could be a very interesting way to boost your profile. So that's a cool example that I tested already. On a personal level, not yet, but I think you did.
Yeah, indeed. I did it with 3 other friends. We are going to participate in a run for a fund that helps cancer research. It's called Kom op tegen kanker. And we needed to gather some money so that we could sponsor the research and to have like our starting budget so we could participate in this race. And then we indeed made a cool video, did a collaborative post, so all our personal followers saw it, and we could reach as much people as possible. So indeed, you have seen it, and we have tried it out, and it worked quite well. We reached our minimum goal, and in March we can participate in the race to support the cancer research.
Mm-hmm. You did it with 2 friends, right?
I did it with 3 friends, yes.
3, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
because we are with 4 to do the run, and we all collaborated on this one.
Yeah. So the post then is on every single one of you on their profile.
Well, we did it with stories, so it was not on our profile, or maybe some did it on their profile. For me, it was shared in the stories, so that all the followers could find it and could see that we were working together on it as well. So I think there are some very cool possibilities for this co-marketing trend that you can do. You can reach out to partners, brands that you work together with, suppliers, to create content together and to expand your reach and surf on each other's wave. I think that's a very cool thing that you can try out this year. So we're already down to the second to last trend, and it's overlooked quite often, I think. And it's a very simple one. It's entertainment. Entertainment helps you win on social media. How important is this entertainment factor?
Yeah, people are done with boring content, and you really have to stand out. So the authenticity can help you already with that. But I think the entertainment part is important as well. We also have something new called edutainment. I don't know if you know that term.
I have heard about it, and we also have played around with it in our first video that is also already online. A description will follow at the end of the video,
Yes.
so you can check it out as well.
So the edutainment content is where you want to educate your audience, but also make use of an entertainment thing in your video or storyline through your video. It's a great way to learn people things. And if you look to children, for example, you see there as well that you can do 2 things. You can tell them like, okay, 1 + 1 is 2, or you do it in a creative and entertaining way. And what will they remember? Of course, the most playful way, because they engaged more. And online, it's the same. So the more you entertain, the more you can educate.
All right, we're already down to the last trend, and I can say that I have learned quite a lot today, and I hope everybody is watching or listening as well. I want to complete the session with interactive text engagement. So we all already know X or previously Twitter, but there is a new kid on the block, Threads. What's your take on this interactive text-based platforms or apps?
X, I don't know. I think that's a platform more evolving to IT, NFT, like that kind of community. I see that also for the brands that we work at first, no one is using X anymore, but I see that they are testing or looking for threads to start up. Why? It's new. So always cool to test out new platforms because the algorithms will give you a boost as well if you do that. On the other hand, why do I think that Threads is interesting to test is because not a lot of people have an account yet. But you see some big companies like YouTube, for example, they really ask their community some questions. Mm-hmm. And because of not a lot of people have the accounts, you can now connect deeply with your audience or directly speak to your audience and have a conversation with them. For example, I saw a few days ago a thread of YouTube, and they asked their community which person is your favorite creator, or which YouTube channel do you learn the most. Yeah, questions like that. I see people are reacting, and you have like 40 reactions because not a lot of people are using threads until this day. And for YouTube, that's very cool to connect with their audience or have a conversation with their audience.
Yeah, and I think that's the most important part from my side as well, is the interaction with the community. Whether it's via X threads, via the chat function of YouTube, or the DMs via TikTok or Instagram. It's going into your community, asking questions and getting valuable answers back, which you can then use for your own ends. To create new content, to dive deeper into stuff that you thought that weren't relevant but turn out to be. I think that platforms like X and Threads are also super interesting to then test out topics.
Yeah.
Like you said, what is your favorite creator, or what is your favorite infotainment or edutainment topic, or what do you want to learn about, or something like that. Gives you a lot of insights in what your audience thinks, in what the community thinks, and also what they want to hear. So that might also be very important to think about, how can I interact with my community.
And also it's super easy to test your ideas via text because it's not a huge time investment. Of course you need a strategy, but it's not like you need a shooting day or editing or whatever. It's just text, so that's easy.
It's like texting your community.
It's like texting your community. And if you see that a certain idea is working on a platform like that, you can still upscale it. For example,
like working, you mean getting good interaction. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're getting good interaction, you can still upscale your idea. For example, I launched a thread. I see a lot of people are reacting. We are in a conversation. Okay, nice. Maybe I can turn that thread in a long YouTube video.
Yeah. Or an infographic, or a short, or something you can put online.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've also heard somewhere else that if this then works well, you can turn that into a lead magnet. And then go again a step down in the content funnel.
Yeah.
And this might be a nice way to test out new ideas in 2024. First, ask the community a question. Do I get a good response, yes or no? Yes. Turn it into a short content piece. Does this work well? All right. Can I turn it into a long piece or into a lead magnet?
Yeah, great idea.
And this way you can touch different funnels, parts of the funnel and have come up easily with new ideas. All right, I think that's very nice to round up. I think we had a great session. Before we go away, I want to thank you, of course, Doreen, for taking the time to have this delicious meal with me and to talk about the trends of 2024. For the people at home and the people watching or listening, if you want to know more about the content trends, we also have a report that you can download via the link in the description of the platform that you're watching or listening this on. If you want to have a deeper dive in it and you want to have a one-on-one, you can always schedule this with me or with Doreen via the channels where you can reach us, like LinkedIn or other social media platforms. So we hope that you enjoyed this piece of content about the trends of 2024, social media trends of 2024, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.